Hi, everybody. I've had an absolute blast recording your championship intros on audio and also on video. And for those of you that didn't know, the videos can be done special exactly the way you like them because these are green screens and we can do them with a scene behind me. Do you want a fighting scene? Do you want a beach scene? Do you want a race car scene? Any scene you want, we can give it to you. It's your theme and my pleasure. Just write our offices and we will answer you with the exact fee involved and how it'll get done. So here we are, and now it's time, and it's your choice. Cheers! From the shores of Malibu where the waves are pumping, to the Great Wall of China, and back to the streets of Columbus, Ohio, where the UFC is coming. We are live. This is It's Time Radio, the show where we talk about what you think about, but may be afraid to voice. Don't worry, we will voice it for you. No holds barred radio. We talk sex, drugs, rock and roll, politics, film, TV, UFC, you name it. We'll talk about it. And we got a lot to talk about today. We have a very special guest, but first let me say hi to my co-host and producer, TJ Santis. TJ, good trip?
Yeah, no, it was good. Miami was fun. I enjoyed that. And yeah, I'm back.
Well, at least you didn't, hit Colby Covington while you were there. We'll talk about that a little later. And we're going to bring on none other than the fine fighter, wonderful lady. And I consider her a friend. I've been a fan of hers for many years. None other than UFC fighter, Michelle Waterson. Michelle, love having you on the show. I want to say hi, how are you? And I have to ask you, how's that beautiful daughter of yours? Tell me how you are. Tell me how your daughter is, the family is, because that's my main concern right now. How is life as we speak?
You know, life is good considering everything. You got to take the good with the bad. I guess that's kind of something you learn as a fighter, is to just roll with the punches. And absolutely, I have a blessed life. My daughter is doing great. She just finished gymnastics season. She auditioned for her Wizard of Oz play and got the lead, Dorothy. So
Are you kidding? Really?
Yes, she's very excited about that.
I'm excited about that. How old is she now?
11.
Oh, she'll be clicking those ruby slippers together just fine, I'm sure. How excited are you as mama, to go see your daughter? And that's got to be so cool. I think that's just awesome.
You know, I'm such a proud mama, and it is really crazy to see, like, just her development, and how much more I can fall in love with her personality. She's just growing into her own little person. You know, when she was younger, there was a lot of things that she did because of my husband and I. But now she just has her own personality and she's starting to shine through, and it's really beautiful to see.
It sounds like she has your drive though, Michelle. I mean, getting, the lead part in a play and doing gymnastics, like that's the mindset of a champion.
She definitely does. My mom is staying with us right now, and she's hard of hearing. So when she talks to people on the phone, she has them on speaker.
Oh, that's okay. It's all right. No problem.
We can hardly hear it. We're good.
But yeah, she does have a drive, and it's crazy. It's just, a lot of people always ask, like, do you think she's going to want to be a fighter when she grows up? And I just think because she's been so involved with my fight career and has seen, like, the good and the bad and the ugly, she sees the sacrifice and she sees everything that it takes to be a fighter. I don't think it's something she wants to deal with. She just tells people, I don't want to get punched in the face,
Maybe she would make a heck of a manager or something like that.
Oh, well, my God, for sure.
At the same time, Michelle, how would you feel? Would you want your daughter to fight?
If it's something that she really wanted to do, we would be behind her. And that's what I tell people. It's just whatever it is that you decide to do, like whatever she decides to do, she has to be 100% all in. It can't be because of me or because of somebody else.
Right.
Because if it is, that's when it becomes dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But TJ, like you're talking about, her being in the world and not necessarily being a fighter. I remember her as, a little 4 or 5-year-old pretending she's Bruce Buffer with her Barbie dolls, like introducing the fighters. Like that's how she played with her Barbie dolls when she was a kiddo, not like the typical kid playing house. It was in the red corner.
That's awesome.
Hey, listen, I'm so honored by that. But the one thing I remember, and one of the key reasons I bring her up, is I met her when she was 4 or 5 years old, if I remember correctly, and personality formed now to where it's at. But she had personality back then. I mean, she was a little firecracker, and that's why it always stood out. That's why I ask you about her. Right now, it's just awesome. I love the whole family unit. I think it's wonderful. I admire you for being a mom. I admire you for combining that with being a professional fighter, champion, the whole bit. Cool. So cool.
I admire you for having your mother stay with you, because I can't do that, Michelle. My goodness.
In small spurts, it's good. It's
there you
good.
go.
Hey, that's okay. We know she didn't hear you say that, so it's all good.
You're gonna come over here and beat me up.
Hey, Michelle, when you're training and everything, first off, the big question is, what's your next go? I mean, if they talk to you, do you have a set fight? What's happening? Wait, who's that?
This is Douglas.
Hey,
What's
Douglas.
up, Douglas?
Oh, he's a big one, huh?
He is. Oh my goodness. He looks like a different weight class than Michelle.
Is he a Dane mix?
He's a Great Dane, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How old is he?
Gosh, Josh got him for me when I was 30, so 6. He's 6.
Wow, that's awesome.
Does he eat like 40 pounds of food a day?
He eats quite a bit, but he has an older, smaller brother who's a Doberman. So they get good exercise and they run around. He's just a dope though.
There you go.
He's
full of charisma though. My goodness.
Yeah, but what combination? A Doberman and a Great Dane?
I'm guessing there's never a dull moment over at Michelle's house.
All I want to know is who has cleanup control. What is that?
That's Josh.
Okay.
He's on poop duty.
Good job, Josh. Husband duties in action. Love it. Josh, how are you? You there?
Yeah, he's here.
Come on, step in the camera, Josh. Say hi.
How's it going?
There you are. Hey, Josh.
Man.
How are you, buddy?
I'm trying to get all these guys round up this way so you guys can do your thing.
It's all good. We're fine. We love the whole family unit. Let them scream, run around, bring in mom. Let's say hi. It's all good.
Your teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Bruce, good to see you guys.
All right. Cheers, my man.
Yes, sir. Come on.
So Michelle, mom, fighter, not on poop duty, whatever, but you have to keep track of it. Training. Okay. My whole attitude is to be in shape 365 days a year as a civilian, whether I fought a lot, but never as a pro, but it's just stay in shape. And I think that's your attitude too. I mean, I know you got to make weight for fights, but do you train consistently throughout the year? Do you take time off? I mean, what is it like for you? Are you ready? So if you get that call from Sean or Mick or whatever, I got to be there in 2 weeks. Are you ready for something like that?
Well, I had to, I had to pull out of this last fight because of an injury, and it was really unfortunate. I think for me, the biggest thing that I've had to grasp is the idea of balance. Because as a fighter, how much it demands on your body, and sometimes I think fighters can fall into a trap of overtraining, and definitely I am that type of person. I'm kind of like an all or nothing type of person. So when I get into fight camp, I hit the ground running, and sometimes I overdo it. So the name of the game for me, probably within these last couple of years, is having a balance in my life and figuring out that balance, because going 100% all the time isn't good, isn't healthy, and isn't realistic. So kind of like you said, making it a part of your lifestyle and making it something that you can do, and something that is a realistic lifestyle, a realistic way of living. So it's kind of like I don't go balls to the walls 100% of the times, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. I would say it's more like an 80-20. And I continue to learn, and I continue to grow, and I keep my body healthy. But the thing is, I think sometimes we forget that we've been putting in, how many ever decades of time and energy into our craft. And sometimes we feel like, oh, we're not ready for this. We got to cram all this knowledge and all of this time into like an 8-week camp. Yeah. When in reality, you know, I've been training to fight for over 20 years, over 26 years, you know. My professor put it, he put it the best way when I was telling him. I was kind of stressing out like, oh, I'm going to miss a session because this or that, you know, media obligations, whatever. And he said, go do the media obligation. He said, you think if you were in the street right now and somebody tried to mug you, and you would tell him, hold on, I need an 8-week camp. Can you?
Can I give you a perfect example in relation to what you're saying? Last night, I watched the Michael Bisping documentary film.
How was it?
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Or as they say in England, fantastic. You know, it was excellent. But there was one key moment when he was called back to fight. I think it was Luke Rockhold or whatever. He was given like 2.5 weeks notice.
Yeah.
And he was all worried about, you know, I need to train. I'm 30 pounds overweight or whatever. And Jason, his coach, who I love, I've known him for years, he basically looked at him. He said, Michael, you've been training for this for over 20 years. You are ready. You just need to condition and make weight. Stop worrying about, do I need to do this and bomb, you know, and just get back at, you know, it's there. It's innate. It's riding a bike. You're ready for this, right? Come on, Michelle. Exactly. 26 years, you're ready.
You know what's crazy for me? It's the idea of being a mother, though, throughout all of this, Michelle, because, you know, I've had the luxury of interviewing a lot of fighters like yourself that fought in Invicta. And, you know, when you're a mother, you're the center of a household more often than not. You're in charge of, you know, meals and things like that. And I could never imagine going through a strict diet in a training camp and still be making other people food. You know what I mean? Like, that's got to be torture and things like that.
Yes and no. It is torture. You know, sometimes I make them torture with me. I go through the pantry and I throw everything away. And I'm like, if mama's doing it, everybody's doing it.
I love it. It's like, oh no, mom's in fight camp. We're in fight camp.
But other times, you know, just the fact that I get to, you know, bake with my daughter and make cookies and this and that, you know, that's more than enough for me anyways. I don't, you know, I can smell the cookies. I can watch my daughter eat the cookies and then I ask her to describe what it tastes like.
Oh, you're one of those. See, athletes are all different. Some of them like want to smell food. Others just want to like look at it. Like Pearl Gonzalez likes to watch like the Food Network when she's cutting weight. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
That's torture.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one period of the year I would never take a fight. Of course, if they called me and I was a pro, I would take the fight. It's Thanksgiving through the end of the year. I don't want to fight during Christmas and Thanksgiving. Right. I want to eat. I want to enjoy.
Although that might, like, depriving yourself of that luxury buff, that might like fire you up to actually hurt somebody inside the octagon.
It would tick me off. I'd be really mad going in the octagon. I mean, I definitely would, you know, put it out there for sure.
Yeah.
Michelle, you know, when it's time to put down your guns, right? Have you prepared or thought about anything you want to do after that? Have you been offered commentating? Because I think you'd be really good at it. And yeah, aside from the fact that you're beautiful and your look and all, which is obviously appealing on screen, but your personality, it's catered to that. You know, have you ever dabbled?
I would absolutely love to get into commentating. You know, martial arts is my life. It always will be. And, you know, in one way or another, I'll always be involved in martial arts. It's kind of one of those things that, like, as a lot of fighters, they don't want to look to the next chapter because they kind of say, yeah, you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That's dangerous. But at the same time, it's dangerous to not have anything set up when you're done fighting, because, I mean, you've seen that story as well. When you're done fighting and you lose yourself, you fall into depression. You don't know what to do with your life because, you know, for 2 decades of your life, all you did was fight. So you had this very narrow, you know, set of skills that only applied to one thing. So I've been making sure that I'm, you know, diversifying my portfolio, doing investments. We've opened up restaurants. We have, you know, I think going on 5 restaurants now.
Wow.
All right, stop the door. I want to hear about the restaurants because I want to put my Puncher's Chance bourbon in all your restaurants.
Whoa.
Didn't you know about this, Michelle?
I did not. That's amazing. You're going to have to check me out some.
I will. Will you do me a favor? Text TJ your address. I want to send you out a bottle of Puncher's Chance. I'd love to hear what you think about it.
Absolutely.
But I made this with fighters in mind. That's why I named it Puncher's Chance. It's all about one punch can change your life. It's about the underdog. But it's bourbon. I don't know if you're a drinker.
I am. Sometimes.
And we've won, glad to hear it. And we've won 6 gold medals. And we're considered the top 5 best sipping bourbon in the $30 price range. And I have different versions. Restaurants all over picking us up. Anyway, I don't want to show, I've already shown my product enough, but if you send an address, I'd love to send it to you and I'll have my guy call you because do that. I'll even do special video for you advertising your restaurant with a bottle of Puncher's Chance and you can put it on social media. That'd be my thank you.
We would love to. So right now we have a taco shop and it's called Taco 10. And so 10 different specialty tacos, very, very yummy, very amazing. Something for everybody, really.
Give us an example of a couple of taco menus, please. I'd love to hear. Give me like 2 of your best, what you love the best.
So it's really cool because each taco has basically it's a different name. So we got the fighter, which is the tenderized beef, and that's why we call it the fighter. Tenderized. And then we have the dreamer, which is kind of like, when pigs fly. So it's a fried chicken with a honey glaze and spice to it. And so and then we have the granny, which is like your traditional ground beef taco, something that your grandma would make at home, kind of like a home cooked simplified taco. So they all have their own little names. It's really kind of cool concept.
I love that. That's so cool. That's very unique. And what is the name of it again?
It's called Taco 10 because there's 10 different.
Taco 10. So you're never going to have more than 10 tacos.
No, we have stuff on the secret menu. We have.
Ooh, secret menu.
How about it's time taco?
It's time.
It's taco time.
It's taco time. Yeah, it's taco time. I like that. That's how I'll open your video when you do it. So tell me about the other restaurants.
We had a Thai restaurant. It's called Thai Street. Just kind of the concept of, when you go to Thailand, anybody that's been to Thailand, that's what it's all about, street food, And so a lot of Thai restaurants, in the area, they're sit downs, but we kind of wanted to bring kind of like a little bit of an urban vibe to it, kind of like the essence of what Thai food really is a street food. You walk through, you pick it up, they're foods that you can grab, on a night out. So we have that, and then we just opened up a pizzeria. So
so the name of the pizzeria.
The name of the now you it's you
can't just sit back and collect checks, Michelle. You got to know the name of your business.
It's called Frenza.
Frenza.
Oh, I like that.
And where did that come from? How is that defined?
How did we pick the name of the pizzeria?
1 second.
How did we pick the name of the pizzeria?
It's a famous spot in Italy.
It's a famous spot in Italy. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Forget about commentating. You guys are entrepreneurs personified.
He's like, you can't just collect the paycheck. He's calling me out on it.
We got 5 restaurants, a gym, some property. She just
forget it. You know what? Forget about commentating. Put it off the table. You're fine. Follow your passion.
Well, Michelle was just on an Invicta like 2-3 weeks ago, and she did pretty good doing the in-ring interviews.
I was super nervous, guys. It was crazy to be on the other end of it, but my adrenaline was pumping from watching the fighters, and then after that, I know what it's like to be a fighter after a fight, and your adrenaline's going, and you kind of don't know what to say, and I kind of felt like I was stuck in that same position as a commentator inside the cage.
I mean, it's always going to be the worst time the first time. You know what I mean? So,
Michelle, people say, do you get nervous? They ask me, when I walk out in front of 20 or whatever I've done in front of 60,000 people or 80,000 at a football game. It's the first time I was nervous. Now it's just adrenaline. And it's always like fighting. It's like, you get a little nervous before you get out there and get going. But once I get punched in the face or I've landed one, I'm ready to go. It smooths out. So It's all about reps. It's all about reps, Michelle. And it's okay to be nervous.
Yeah.
Right? It's all okay. That'll change.
See, you and I are the same, but different, Buff. If I get punched in the face, I'm ready to go. I'm leaving.
I was going to say go fight or go
No, I'm leaving.
Go fight. Yeah.
I'm out of here.
TJ's taking an Uber. I'm staying there.
That's right.
Man.
So, okay, we've got the pizzeria, the restaurants. The gym. Now, you train at Jackson's, right?
Absolutely.
And when you talk about overtraining, I mean, I think he's just an amazing trainer.
Mhm.
And I think about it, it's like, I don't think he would let you overtrain, would he? Or does he let you go at your own pace?
I think he has he has some say as far as telling me when to pull it back, and he can tell when I'm just drained, and when he's like, all right, we got to call it. But there are things that there's a point where I can do things that are outside of his control. Like, he doesn't see me 24/7. I have a home gym here at the house that we built because we had our little one, and in the evenings, she had gymnastics in school, so we couldn't make it back to the gym. So we built a home gym so that we could get training here in the evening. And so you are right, and he will call me out if I'm overtraining. And so definitely, Coach Wink and Josh, they both hold me accountable. They know me well enough to know when I have been overtraining.
Right.
And that's the thing with all these different endeavors, investments and stuff like that as well. Josh knows that I'm an all or nothing type person. So he kind of he keeps those things a little bit distant from me, because he knows as soon as I get my grips into them, I'm all in, and he wants me to continue to focus on my fighting.
Hey, I got a question real quick. Talking about women's MMA a little bit, I've noticed that women tend to fight a little bit later in life than men. Like, sometimes I've seen women make their debuts, Michelle, in like 36, 37 years old, which is kind of unheard of on the male side. Do you think women have a longer fight life than men?
Interesting question, TJ.
For real, I feel like it's still too young of a sport to actually have a grasp and an understanding of what is. It's just, I think that females carry a set of strength that men don't. And I think one of those strengths is the ability to endure pain.
Mm-hmm.
And for females, I think it's just it can be a long game. Especially considering females that do birth and have children in between their career, because just growing a baby inside of you takes 10 months, and then having to get your body back to where it was, fight shape, is another 10 months. And so, but if a female has the desire and the drive and the dedication to do so, I absolutely think that they'll be able to fight, into their 40s.
I think about champions in MMA, and the best champions are the ones that are able to adapt, and no one is literally more able to adapt physically than a woman.
Right.
The one thing Michelle said, though, it rings so true when I think about it. The ability for women to handle maybe a higher pain threshold. We don't give birth. Okay.
Yeah, no, dudes, that's not happening.
That's not happening. So thank you for absorbing that pain for us and all the wonderful things it brings us. It's like, I agree with you, Michelle. I don't think that statement is even debatable. Okay.
Yeah. But it translates into fighting. I mean, how many times have you seen a girl in a sub where you think for sure they would tap, and no, they didn't. They went through the round, like Miesha Tate got her, her arm popped out of its socket and then came back to fight the next round. The fight between Wei Li Zhang and Joanna Jędrzejczyk, those girls, literally took years off each other's lives, went 25 minutes with each other. And I've never seen that happen, and it just, hats off to those ladies for doing that. But that just shows you their pain tolerance, their passion for the sport, and why we are where we are.
So let me ask you a very straight, direct question. Not that I haven't already, or will continue to do so, but 36 years old, right? Okay. How long do you see yourself fighting? And very blankly, are you in it thinking about the championship belt, which I'm sure is always on your mind, or it's, let me see how many paydays I can get and do what I'm truly passionate about, or a combination of everything?
I do think towards the end of every fighter's career, these are all the questions that they start to think of. I know that my days are numbered. Fighting is, we were talking about the ability to fight into your 40s, but in my instance, I think I'm going to give myself probably 2 years max. And you know, I always have the idea of fighting for the belt. You know, it's still something that irks me that I haven't been able to do. I've literally fought almost every champion besides Wade Lee, you know, but not for the belt.
Yeah.
So it's something that I still want to be able to check off my list, but it's also something that if I put too much energy and focus onto that, something that will distract me from being able to be in the zone. And I do think that that has happened to me, you know, quite recently, is where, you know, I was so stuck on this goal of being the champ, being mom champ, you know, first champion to be a mom. And I lost sight of what was in front of me. I lost sight of being in the zone. I lost sight of actually just fighting the fight that's right here in front of me. And when you do that, like, you can't get ahead of yourself, because you know, because when you're not in the moment, you're not able to perform. And so my thing now is just to enjoy the process, to enjoy the moment, to be in the moment, and to not necessarily fight for a belt, but to be able to get inside the octagon and show off the things that I've learned all these years, you know, all these decades.
You know,
It's hard to do, right? You said it's like, it's you know, you train for all these things, but when you get in there, you know, 15, 20, how many ever years you train, and then you get 15, 25 minutes to show all of that work. Sometimes it doesn't come to fruition, you know.
right, right. One thing that's very evident about you, whether it's your pre-fight interviews, whether you're on stage doing that famous kick over the head that you do, which I love watching, you love what you do. It's so obvious. Even when you're fighting, I can see the passion in you. I mean, you love to fight. I assume you love to train. I'm sure there's days you don't. That's true of everything. But as long as your passion stays strong, just keep going for it. If your body stays strong, your passion's strong, you're healthy. You may say 2 years, Michelle, but you know, that could extend. You never know. I think you're smart enough, obviously, to know when to say it's time. Right.
That's your line, Buff.
Well, I'm not going to say it for. I'm not going to say it for. She's got the license fee in perpetuity. She can say it whenever she wants. And I got to tell you too, Michelle, your nickname. I mean, I have favorite nicknames, but the Karate Hottie, you know, the Karate Hottie. I love that. I love that. You know, it's so much fun to announce your name. Here's a question from the past. You were on Bully Beatdown, right?
Yes.
What was that like? And were you coaxed, or how what was that experience like for you?
You know, it was kind of one of those things that I knew about the show. I thought it was a great concept, and they should probably bring it back now with like internet trolls.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that so much.
I would love that.
We'd have to call it something different, but it would be hilarious to see, you know, and to meet the internet troll and have them fight a professional fighter for saying the things that they say.
I need to like fund this, Buffer. We need to put together budget. This has to happen.
I'll tell you right now, if that happens, I'll throw my hat in the ring and I'll go 3 rounds with a couple of these assholes. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure if it was scripted or not, but for sure, guys, these, like, I had to fly into Salt Lake City because it was the only place that would sanction a non-professional fighter to fight a professional fighter.
Wow.
And you know, obviously it wasn't really a fight. They wore shin guards, there were rules. We couldn't knee in the face, head kick, or anything like that. But I think it was enough for them to get their butt kicked a little bit. These guys have some mouths on them, and they literally you could tell that they were bullies because they were in denial of the idea that, or they were in denial that they were actually, you know, going to be in the cage with a professional fighter. Like, they thought for sure they'd be able to handle themselves, and it just wasn't the case.
Everybody needs to get their ass kicked once in their life, I think.
You don't know who you are till you've been punched in the face.
Yeah.
Simple as that. For sure.
I mean, being humbled is a good thing for personal development.
Absolutely. I think that everybody, I think everybody should get their ass kicked at least once in their life.
It's true. I really believe that.
I can't argue the point. I think it's healthy as long as you don't get hurt too bad. Unless you're an a-hole, then you should get hurt a little bad.
Maybe.
Hey, I forgot. Did you answer the question about has the UFC come to you about an upcoming bout or any discussions?
Well, we're kind of just in limbo right now. Like I said, I just got surgery. So
tell us the surgery you had. Refresh us.
I haven't really been telling anybody the surgery because I just
don't say anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm still fighting, so it's kind of one of those things. But we're really hopeful that it's a fast recovery.
Okay.
It seems that way. I'm doing a lot of PT right now and taking a lot of measurements to make sure that I come back even better than what I was before. So we got a couple more weeks till we meet up with the doc again to hear what he says, and I'm hopeful that we can probably get back in there. Um, I'm hopeful. I'm just throwing out a date, maybe late May, early June.
You know, um, I love hearing that, but also at the same time, I want to tell you the same thing I tell every fighter. Uh, it's so important to heal 100%, 100%, not 90, not 95, not 89, 100%. You don't want to have lingering injuries the rest of your life.
Well, I think it's hard for a lot of fighters to swallow that pill.
They got to get the money. They got to get the paycheck.
It
Yeah.
is. It's not like, oh, just like I'm pulling out of this fight because I'm scared. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
why would I'm a professional fighter. I've been fighting professionally for 15 years. You really think I'm scared? Like, that's how I feed my family. Like,
Right.
and if I don't fight, I don't get paid.
Right. I understand.
There are certain fighters too that have, pulled out of fights, like pulled out of title fights, and then that opportunity never comes back around. It's always a risk when you have to pull out.
It's true. But I also think about it in a way where it's something small, you think you can fight through it, and that small thing turns into a big thing that ends your career. So it could go one way or the other, and I guess everybody has their own, their own path and their own trajectory.
Absolutely, absolutely true. Michelle, I'm not going to hold you on too much longer. Really appreciate your taking the time with us. But can I show you one more item I want to send you? Because I would like your opinion on the design. Okay.
Okay.
I'm releasing my own line of toiletries, starting with my own cologne, which will be released in 40 countries in the next 2 months. Okay. You'll see it in the duty-free shops and the airports, and my picture, which I'll fall on the floor laughing when I see that. But tell me what you think of the bottle, because I'd love to send you this for your husband. And also women love the scent too.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So
That's amazing.
The It's Time cologne. I'm going to have, again, I would love to get your address. I'll write Simon, have him send me your address, the gentleman that contacted us. Okay. And I'm going to send you that and the other.
What
and
are the
I'd love to
notes?
get your opinion on it.
What are the notes of the cologne? Is it like a unisex cologne?
No, it's for men, but actually it is unisex. It came out that way. We're finding that every woman that smells it, they love it. They want to wear it. All the Octagon girls are going crazy over it, amongst, a number of other women I know. But yeah, I would say, I don't want to call it unisex because I don't want to label it like that in the marketing.
Right.
But have you ever smelled Obsession by Calvin Klein? It's
Gosh.
kind of a vanilla caramel, very soft, sensual.
Mhm.
Put it this way. You want to have another baby? And we're going to send this in. I'm going to Josh.
What's your count? I'm like, all right, we got to get the tally, and then then I'll be able to tell you if it's seductive enough.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Be honest with it. I want to hear it. So far, so good, but I need Michelle Waterson's opinion. So you got a couple of gifts coming your way, doll. No problem.
Hey, I got one last question for you, Michelle. You were a former atomweight champion. The atomweight division is still not in the UFC. Do you ever see 105-pound women getting that platform?
Man, I hope so. It's kind of like that saying, if you build it, they will come. There are girls all around the world that want to fight, that are wrestling, that are doing jiu-jitsu tournaments, that are doing kickboxing tournaments, little 5-year, 6-year-old girls that just want a platform to show what they can do. So if the UFC opens that up, there for sure will be girls that come through and perform.
I hope it happens.
Well, this weekend, the ESPN show in Columbus, there's some excellent female, Jennifer Maya's fighting Marion Firo. I got to get her name correctly. TJ, help me.
That's pretty good. I haven't actually heard anyone say it yet. So
okay. Sarah McMahon against Carol Hossa.
Yep. This is the card I was supposed to be fighting on.
It's gonna hurt to watch. Who are you supposed to fight on the card?
Amanda Ribas.
Oh man, I would have loved to have seen that fight. Jeez.
Yeah. It'll happen. It'll happen.
Hey, there's nothing more exciting than the impending event. Okay, so let's look forward to it. And you got Alexa Grasso against Joanne Wood. So, JoJo. I love watching JoJo fight.
It's amazing the amount of talented women inside the UFC. It's better than ever. It's crazy to see how in a short time all of those weight classes have evolved so much.
Well, you know, people say Ronda Rousey, which she did. She brought female MMA to the forefront. Of course, Misha was involved, but I give a lot of credit to Michelle. You know, I mean, a lot of people have paid attention. You brought a lot of attention to the sport, and I think you ought to consider yourself a pioneer in women's MMA and be very proud of that, Michelle.
I think she's a Hall of Famer. I really do.
There's no question. I'm like, yeah, of course. I agree.
You just made my entire year saying that. I really appreciate it. And I won't let you guys down coming out guns ablaze in this next fight.
I love your attitude. I love your words. Have you trained with Mike Swick at AKA in Thailand?
Yes, we did. Actually, Dana White connected us. And when we went out to Thailand, we were able to train with him. I think we actually trained with him for a good 2 weeks. So
wow. I hear he has a beautiful setup out there.
It is beautiful. And we've actually become really good friends with Mike and
great guy.
Since then. Mm-hmm.
It's a great guy. Most definitely. Yeah, it's very cool. He's got his own battle going on right now himself.
I know, but you know, he's a fighter through and through. And so he knows what it is to bite down and you know, swing.
Yeah, we were communicating the other week about it. I love Mike. He's one of my favorite people. We've been friends for years. Mm-hmm. Michelle, great to have you on the show. A couple of nice swag gifts coming your way. Can't wait to hear what you think. But most of all, heal 100%. Take care of your beautiful family and your mother-in-law, and just enjoy yourself. Just enjoy. And I can't wait to be in the octagon with you again. So come into my office and do your business.
You know, I know you're probably sucked for time, but going into the fight, I would really try to zone everything out, tune everything out, not listen to anything, because I was trying to focus. Mm-hmm. And it hit me one day, like, I'm a UFC fighter, and, you know, being announced by Bruce Buffer, and I've never really taken the time to pay attention to, you know, how he announces my name. And it made me sad, because I stopped and said, you know, if you don't stop and smell the roses, you know, this time is going to come and go, and you're not even going to remember those moments. Wow. So I do remember, I think it was with my fight against Angela Hill, you know, when you were announcing my name, just taking it all in, like looking at you and saying my name with you. And it was just such an amazing moment, and something that I'll never forget. And I think it's important to sometimes stop and smell the roses.
Hey, that's some tunnel vision if you're able to like put him out of your mind when he's roaring. My goodness.
Yeah, pardon me if I get in your face a little bit. It's just, you know, it's just what I do. But thank you for the respect of allowing me to do that.
You see some of the fighters, I'm sure you can tell some of them don't pay attention, some of them look down, some of them turn around, and it's just like where they need to be in that moment, you know. And it was great to be able to share that moment with you. Absolutely.
Michelle, your words mean the world to me. Made my day, my year. This means a lot to me. All my 25 plus years of being in the octagon, there's two things that make it for me. When I have a professional fighter, no matter who they are, especially one I respect and like as much as I respect and like you, saying words about me or thanking me for the way I announced them, it's not about the paycheck for me. I'll be the first one to cash in on a Monday at the bank, but that's what I live for. Thank you. And the other thing is when young kids come up to me, that's what I live for too, because I'll always take the time to, you know, build that confidence in that child. And
yeah, you change your lives for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Michelle. I've got a little moisture going on here. That was pretty cool. All right, Michelle, you have a great week. I look forward to seeing you soon. Stay healthy, right? And much success with all your places. That's great. I want to do some business with you. So all good.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
Michelle, one other thing. Here I am showing again. Are you selling merchandise at all? Do you have Michelle Waterson merch?
I absolutely am. We just actually opened up a e-commerce store, and it's really easy to find. You can find it on my Instagram page, just in my bio, but it's michellewaterson.com. I got some pretty cool shirts. We got some a shirt that says "I love hot moms." We got a shirt that says "Embrace the hurt, beautiful violence," because that's what I do.
Love that.
So yeah, we got some really cool merch.
Would you like another avenue to sell it all around the world with no cost to you and huge profit?
Well, I would love to be able to sit down and talk for sure.
Absolutely. So Josh, and you take a look at my new company. It's almost a year old. It's kicking butt all over the world. I have a company called millions.co. I'm a co-founder in. And the Shevchenko sisters are in it, Thug Nasty, a ton of UFC MMA fighters, but also athletes in football and baseball, thousands of athletes from NCAA and professional sports. We make your whole merch line for you. You can still have your other avenue, but this, you don't have to ship, you don't have to stock, you don't have to pay, you don't have to anything. And we give the lion's share of the profits back to the fighters, more than any contract you could have with a Reebok or Venom. We pay much, much more. And we have all the cameo and video capabilities on there. So your fans can get videos from you. They can watch UFCs with you in a companion watch party style, where you can charge them, like $4 to spend the evening with you and share the experience. So I built this to be able to allow fighters to brand themselves and to have money and income coming in aside from just your check on fight night. I want fighters to make money all year long. So if you have a moment, check millions.co, and I'll set up a little Zoom meeting with my co-founder. It'd be a great way. And we'll take all that stuff you have. We'll make all that for you so you can even get more of a bigger picture around the world if that interests you. Absolutely. I appreciate you considering me for sure. Oh, are you kidding? Karate Hottie is a hottie product, man. I know a good product when I see it. All right, Michelle, thank you so much. And thank you again for your kind words. It means the world to me. Thank you for having me on. It's good to see you. You got it, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Bye, Josh.
He's gone.
Okay.
He's running like a pizzeria now.
Yeah, he's doing something.
Just think about it, TJ. What's your flavor of the night? I think I'll have a taco. No, I think I have some Thai food. It's like, oh, this is perfect. It's 3 days of the week are covered by the restaurants alone. It's awesome. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, we'll get you out of here. See you, Michelle.
Big cheers, no fears, Michelle. Take care.
Sure. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, there she is, Michelle
Karate
Waterson.
Hottie, the Karate Hottie, and she's such a good person. Really.
Yeah. No, it's hard not to. I mean, it's hard to get off the line with her. She's such a great conversationalist.
I was going to ask her if you wanted to share the news, but I think we got to go into some negative stuff here as well as positive. I thought you might finish the show like that. But wonderful having Michelle on. Awesome, amazing spokesperson, ambassador of our great sport.
100%. She's just she's the representative you want when it comes to going out there and talking about mixed martial arts from a mother's standpoint. It doesn't get any better.
No, it doesn't. It's great. It's great. All right, let's go on to some other stuff. And thank you for the big push in the beginning, Michelle. All right, TJ, there's a couple of fighters in the news for the wrong reasons. Let's start off with the Colby Covington Masvidal, punched me twice and broke my tooth attack. Not knowing all the particulars of the situation. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. The scuttlebutt I heard is that Masvidal sent Colby a message when he found out where he's going to be at, that he would be there. Is that what you heard?
I don't know anything about that. I haven't heard that. I just heard that there was a bit of a dust up at a steakhouse. And
that Colby was blindsided. It wasn't in front that he was hit blind. They claimed.
Again, I don't know that. I'm going to read a tweet that I tweeted out because I think this is my stance on it, and I hold pretty firm on this.
Okay.
But I said, not an endorsement for violence, but MMA is a game that enables martial artists to use self-defense tactics in an exhibition of skill and entertainment for financial gain. Sometimes the promotional hype isn't just a game to everyone involved, and certain behavior isn't just business. And I think that's what this was. This was Colby hyping up a fight, going a little bit too far, and George taking care of it the way that George knows how to take care of things. Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that's right, but you can't do certain things and just say, oh, it was all for show. There are things that cut deeper than that.
Well, agreed. And Jorge faces now a felony battery charge.
It'll get sorted out. I mean, it'll get sorted out. I'm sure. Get
sorted out. It's almost like, I don't know, I'm different attitude. It's like, I wouldn't want to see if I was Colby, and I know that the hate between them, or whatever the term you want to use. But as a man and a professional fighter, if it was up to me to say, I want him charged, if he has that ability, I would say, let it go. And I would just try to fight him in a sporting atmosphere, and whether it's on TV in the UFC or in a gym, and just get this thing over with.
Well, here's the thing. It's done at this point, right? Like, Colby won the fight. Mm-hmm. George did whatever he needed to do. Probably, again, I'm not endorsing it or condoning it.
I understand.
And We're going to see if Colby learns from this, in my opinion, because, again, you love or hate Colby. He's a great athlete, one of the best 170 pounders on the planet, probably the second best 170 pounder on the planet.
Cardio machine.
Right. I mean, Kamaru Usman's not in the picture. He's the champion. There's no doubt about it. But with all of that said, I don't know if this will change his tactics when hyping up a fight. I mean, the way that he's already talked about Dustin Poirier, and they're not even fighting. I don't know. There's a line you shouldn't go over, and I think that we've seen, with this instance, what can happen if you tend to hop over that line. And again, not an endorsement, but I think you got to think twice about it moving forward.
I agree. Now, another situation that came up is the Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen, was involved in a hotel fight in December last year. In the docs, the officials accused Sonnen of roughing up 6 people, including one woman. Claims he choked a man, punched or struck a woman, punched or kneed others in the head and face during the incident. The 5 charges initially brought in when he was slapped with them back then, a judge in Nevada dismissed the case in January, but now it's not over. It's been reported he's been hit with 11 charges for this incident, including 1 felony.
Really? So they threw the case out?
Threw the case out.
How does that not double jeopardy?
I don't know. They're hitting him with felony battery. Well, they're hitting him with different charges: felony battery by strangulation and 10 other misdemeanor battery counts.
What was the other charge that he was charged with the first time?
It just says battery. He was hit with 5 battery citations. They don't get details of exactly what they are, but Chael's
seems strange.
It does seem strange, but obviously investigating the case later for them to come back and do this after dismissal, they must have some pretty strong evidence. This is not a civil suit. This is it's
a criminal suit again.
Criminals. This is criminal charges.
That's interesting to me because I mean, not very often do you have a case thrown out and then another attempt with different charges is put together. I mean, we don't know the whole story.
No,
we both know Chael, which it seems odd to me that something like this would happen with Chael, but I don't know.
Yeah, Chael's he's a hothead verbally.
Yeah, but I mean,
but he's very calm, and I've been in a situation with Chael when people around, he's been very reserved where he could have blown up.
Chael's a showman. Chael's a fight seller. Chael's not someone that I would worry about in public generally.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling, and again, none of us know the specifics, that there was a lot of egging on done here, and something had to set him off. But
I still feel, Bruce, and I think you can speak to this. When you're a celebrity and someone from the combat sports world, there are people that are testing you a little bit and seeing how far they can push you before you break. And I'm not saying that's the case here, but we've seen that before in the past, and it's difficult to be someone, in that world.
I've seen it personally. I've seen people egg me. I've been bumped in bars.
Right.
So yeah, it's crazy. Okay. UFC London. Chael, I wish you all the best on that, Chael. You're my buddy, and I respect you, and I hope this all pans out in your favor. So we'll see. London. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What can you say?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say? I wish that show was on ESPN, although I think it got great views on ESPN Plus. But the audience was electric. The fights were amazing. 9 $50,000 bonuses were handed out versus the normal 3. Wow. I mean, was that one of the greatest fight nights ever?
It's pretty good. And also too, step in the right direction of getting things to feel more normal. Again, we're pretty close to feeling completely normal. There's still things in the news that get me worried all the time, Buff. But the idea that the UFC hadn't been to the UK in 3 years is mind blowing. It's one of the stronger markets, and something that is must see TV every time it happens. And I think we were reminded of that on Saturday.
Absolutely. And the fans, as usual in the UK, were absolutely rabid. They're so hungry for the UFC. They were so happy we were there. I want to thank all the UK fans listening to the show, and everybody else that attended and came in from out of the UK into the O2 Arena, which is one of my favorite arenas to announce in.
It looks so cool on TV as well.
So cool. It was so cool, TJ. It was beyond cool.
That's awesome.
It was beyond cool. So thank you for all your support, and thank you for everyone saying it's time with me. I never hear it when I'm doing it, but I watch the video and I'm like, holy heck, this is like Brazil.
It's amazing to me that you don't hear it. It is so loud.
I'm so focused.
You're
TJ.
like Michelle Waterson, just tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision. That's it. It's me and the fighter. That's
right.
It. And I even gave a little, not the 2 to 3 feet of air that I used to get, but I'm
noticing, Buffer. You get me worried. You know, the FAA had a grounded mandate on you, but you're getting airborne again.
You know who gets really worried? My mom.
Oh, I can see that.
I get the phone call. She goes, "Don't jump."
Can't help it though, right?
Huh?
Can't help it though. It's not conscious, right?
Nope. Never know what I'm going to do till I do it. I have no idea. No idea. But it's all good. My legs are strong. My knees are good. I'm good.
That's good.
I'm just not going to get crazy. I hate rehab, TJ.
I understand.
I'm done with rehab.
No more spinning.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Just 90s and 180s, Buff.
90s, 180s, and grounded 360s.
There you go. There you go.
Andy Warhol. You know his artwork? You ever see his artwork?
Yeah, pop art, for sure.
See that classic Marilyn Monroe, Andy Warhol? Okay, they're auctioning it off.
Ooh.
How much do you think?
Well, how many did he make?
Oh, painting-wise?
Yeah. Because, I mean, he's got so many sort of replicas of things that he's done. They're not replicas, but you know what I mean? Like he did the Brillo boxes, and I don't know, there's like 200 of them made. Right. So that would be, if this is one of one, a lot, I guess.
Yes.
We'll go $250,000.
Okay. Well, you were actually right on the first number, 200.
Okay.
Million.
What?
200 million.
Get out of here. No one's buying that.
They are looking right now. They think it's going to become the second highest selling art piece in the history.
Get out of here.
Number one art piece, 450 million for a Leonardo da Vinci piece, but they're predicting that this will sell for $200 million.
Andy Warhol, $200 million artist.
Yep.
My God.
It's expected to set that record, and we will see.
Who's buying this? That's so much money, Bruce.
I know. Well, you know, there are people out there with big money, TJ.
And I guess they want to like lay that, claim out there. Modern times, these collectibles are just going higher and higher and higher.
Higher and higher and higher. It's crazy. I was doing inventory of part of my collection. And it's like, TJ, I'm telling you, it's like 100% a year on some of this stuff. And it's one thing to say this is worth this. Okay.
Right.
But does it sell?
No, that's the other question. Because a lot of time you'll see people say, well, it's going for this. It's like, it's not going for that. People are asking that price, but it's not selling at that.
Well, the items that my brother Brian, who's the master at this, and I collect, they're all gold bricks. I'll give you an example of one sports memorabilia. We've talked about it a million times in the show, but the 86 Fleer basketball wax pack that could have a Michael Jordan rookie in it.
Yep.
About 8 years ago or so, 10 years ago, Brian bought one for $300. He just sold it for $4,800.
And here's the issue with that, Bruce, is like, that's a great profit margin. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, is the bubble going to pop, or is that going to be worth 10 in 5 years?
I don't know about 10.
You don't know, though. You don't know.
You don't know, but it's not going to be less. I've only seen one dip in this sports thing, and I was a victim of it. The 87 Fleer box with his second year rookie, I talked about this on the show, was going up after that special on Michael Jordan.
Yeah, the Last Dance.
Yeah, the Last Dance. All his collectibles went crazy. So I had a ton of them, but I went ahead and I bought a box of 87 Fleer unopened wax packs where there's 16 wax packs inside, and I paid $60,000 for it. Okay. It's only worth like 35,000 or so now.
Hold it though.
I'm holding it. I bought another one for like 27,000 to average it down. And I know that if I sit on it for 5 years, I'm fine. I've increased so much of my other collectibles, it kind of balances out in the positive section, way beyond that as far as money made. So yeah, okay, that's a lot of money. And again, I apologize for talking about a lot of money, but you
work hard for it, Buff. It's fine.
But yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. Not at all.
No, I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of like the stock market. You got to get these things in a time. Certain investments are a long game. Yeah, it's wild. Totally and I'm sure part of you enjoys having it, having it sit somewhere.
Listen, I'll be coming out with NFTs soon, which I'll be announcing in the next few months. But again, we talked about it on the show recently. I
I want to hold it in my hand.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm not a big, I don't watch porn, right? It's like, if I want to kiss, I want to kiss the person in front of me. You know, it's like, I'm a visual guy, and that was kind of a strange, example.
But I get it though. There's no substitute for,
for
something,
holding it,
right?
Hugging it, looking at it. Yeah. It's just it's totally different.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about collectibles. There are some things that, serve a really nice purpose as far as decor goes. And there are other things that they're collectible, but they don't really look great. You know what I mean? Like a lot of unopened things don't pop the way that, something in a frame does per se, but you can still enjoy it the same way as long as you have it in front of you.
I absolutely thoroughly agree with you. And with that being said, TJ, let's sign up on the show and look forward to next week's show. By the way, Daddy Yankee, the hip hop artist, wants to be on the show, and got some good guests coming up here. Michael and I, if you're familiar with Daddy Yankee, he's one of the biggest, highest selling hip hop artists in the history of, music. He's retiring, and Michael and I just did our intro takes for him. Michael doing one of his album openings, and I did his other album opening, which are being released very soon. So I'd love to have Daddy Yankee on the show talking about that.
Sure. Yeah.
And get his insight into that whole world. All right, TJ, go ahead. What's up?
Let's see here. You can check out Extra Rounds. We'll be live this Saturday night following the UFC. That's over on the UFC Fight Pass Facebook page. You can also get the archive anytime on UFC Fight Pass. And that's that. Follow me on Twitter at TJ DeSantis.
Sounds great. And for me, again, last weekend was a monumental moment in my life. As I say, I go out every night to prove that I deserve this job. And I had such a blast in London. I got to meet my partners in It's Time Energy and the Cologne and Toiletries, who are based in England. I've been doing business with them for 2 years, and I've not met them in person because of COVID. And
I want a bottle of that stuff, Buff. I need that. I need that cologne.
Yeah, you will get one.
All right.
Get your ass up here to Buffer Manor.
I know.
You walk out of here with a lot of swag if you get up here. There's a little incentive for you to make the drive there, TJ.
All right, Buff. We'll make it happen.
Otherwise, I'll send you a bottle, of course. Anyway, that was my audition last weekend. I think I did a decent job to be able to go to work and step in the octagon this coming Saturday, but I'm going to audition for everybody again from Columbus, and I can't wait to do this show. I know everybody in Columbus, Ohio is excited. And also, I am going to be appearing at the Arena Wine and Spirits shop. Let me make sure I give out the address here so everybody knows. On Friday, which our show will be out on Thursday.
Right, so tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow, please check out Arena Wine and Spirits at 492 Armstrong Street in Columbus, Ohio. I'll be there from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm going to sign the first 120 bottles of Puncher's Chance that are sold. And there you go. Come by and say hi and have a cheers on me. And remember, everybody wants Puncher's Chance. People ask me, where can I get it? Where can I get it? We're
everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. But if you can't find it at your local store, Costco, Bevmo, everywhere, then just go to puncherschanceBourbon.com and you can order it right off the site and have it delivered. And if you go there, boom, that's it. And toast the fighters the proper way.
I like it.
All right. I will see you from the Octagon on Saturday from Columbus, Ohio. Have a great week, everybody. And remember, set your goals, write them down, learn about them, be the best you can be. So when you step on that path, you perform at your highest level, whether you're number 1, number 2, or number 10. If you perform at your best, then you're winning. And that's what life is all about. So keep winning, everybody. Have a great week. Be back next week. Buffer out.